Complete frequency tables and histograms to analyze grouped data. All right, these can be a little tricky, so let's go through step by step. First of all, a frequency table is simply a table that organizes your data, showing the number of times, right, that is the frequency part, that the data appears in the given data set. So we're organizing our data. The histogram is a bar graph for quantitative data. It's continuous, and therefore the bars touch. So that is what we're working on today. All right, let's do our example. You keep track of the number of ounces of water you drink for the month of April, which is 30 days. Use the data below to create a frequency table with 6 classes and create a histogram. Okay, there are steps to this. So, step 1, we need to determine the class width. So the class width is determined by taking the maximum number, subtract the minimum number, and divide it by the number of classes. So in this case, our maximum number is 84, our minimum number is 47, and we're told we're using six classes. So I would take 84 minus 47 divided by 6. So that gives me 37 divided by 6, which is 6.16, and repeat stuff. Well, we always round up. If you round down, you're not going to have enough. So we're going to round up. So my class width is going to be 7 because the next highest integer. Okay, so my class width is 7. Now we can find our lower and upper class limits. Okay, and we're going to fill those in on the next side. Remember, our smallest, our minimum number is 47. So my lower class limit, it will always start with your smallest number. Now, my class width is 7. So the trick is I'm going to add 7 to get my next lower class limit. So 47 plus 7 is 54. Plus 7 is 61. Plus 7 is 68. Plus 7 is 75, and plus 7 is 82. Now, that's my 6 classes right there. Boom. To find my upper class limit, well, if I'm starting the next one at 54, then the previous one has to end before that. So, you'll notice that I just go down, and again, the difference is 7. So from 53 to 60 is 7. 60 to 67 is 7. So 81 plus 7 is 88. And now I have my lower and upper class limits. Okay, so step 2 was the lower class limits and the upper class limits. Fill those in based off of your class width. Now, step 3 is to fill out the frequency column. So you're going to go through all the data. In this case, we have 30 numbers, and we're going to go through one by one. Let's just look at the first 2. I have 71 and 56. So 71 goes here, 56 goes here, and we're going to do that for all 30 numbers. Okay, so after you go through one by one, figuring out where do these numbers fit in the intervals of your, in this case, everything from 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53. All of those numbers are in that first class, right? So we have those, and we figured it out. I do recommend that you then go through and say, okay, this is 1, 6, 7, 8, 7, 1. And add those up, because if those don't add to your total frequency, you have a boo-boo. Right? And I know that there are 30 days in April, so I have 30 numbers. Now, right here, we have created our frequency table. This right here is a frequency table. We have our classes, right? Our lower class limits gives us our groupings, and then we have our frequency. From this, we can create our histogram. So, we have ourselves a number diagram here, but we're going to start at 47. And then we're going to have 54. So forget these numbers that are here because this is what I could find. And I'm going to use my lower class limits as the numbers here. Okay, so 82 and then 89. So that's like the end. So now I'm ready to go through and say, okay, what do we have? Using our frequency. So in the first table, from 47 to 53, we have 1, a frequency of 1. So here, this goes up to 1, and I color in my bar. Now, from 54 to 60, I have a 6. So I go 6, 7, 8 for the next 3. So up to 6, 7, 8. And then the last ones, I have 7 and then a 1. So back to 7 and a 1. And that's our histogram. I mean, it's not a pretty histogram because my lines are not super straight, but that's the idea. The bars touch, right? All of the bars touch, and it's continuous. So you want your histograms to be nice. It's nice to have labels. So down here would be ounces of water, because that's what these numbers represent. The vertical axis would be the frequency, and then we would have like water consumed month of April. You should always have a title when you have a graph. Otherwise, how do we know what we're looking at? So that's always important. So that's how we keep track of frequency tables and histograms to analyze data. So we can see clearly, here's the tallest bar. That means between 68 and 75 ounces is the most common. Oh, I can't type or write, whatever it is I'm doing. So you can draw a lot of inference based off of the histogram that we're given.